Now we will see the queue concept today. Okay, queue. So what is the queue? Why we have to use? How to use? Right? We'll talk about. So we'll go to the cloud. Right? So queue is also available in the cloud. So we have to go to the orchestra. So please log into the orchestra. Okay. So now we are in the orchestra. Okay. So if you go here, right, we can see the queue. Right. Yesterday we have seen like we have the processes. Then we have seen about assets, right? Then we'll talk about the queues. Okay. So queue is a container, right? Queue is a container where we can store n number of data. Okay. It will be used to store the data. Then the next thing, what is the necessity of storing the data, right? And then how to store it and how to fetch it, right? So suppose like we have taken a lot of examples, right, where we have taken the data from the Excel file, right? We have taken the data from the Excel. But when we are doing the or when we are taking the data from the Excel file, right? We can take an example of this UI demo. Okay. So when we are taking the data from the Excel file, so just imagine like we are having four transactions. Okay. And these four transactions, we are not maintaining any status like it's successful, either it's pass or either it's fail. Okay. We are not able to maintain the status, right? At the same time, there is very important concept related to our RPM, right? So first thing we are not able to maintain. So we was talking about the queue, right? Mhm. So this is the queue, and we are talking about the UI demo. Okay, so let's go to the UI. So first thing we was talking about, like when we are having this input data, okay, the input data we was taking from the Excel, right? So just imagine if you want to maintain any status, right? Like either it's successful, either it's pass, or any kind of exception and all, right? We will not be able to do it with the help of Excel, right? Second thing, if you want to fetch any kind of reports, right? Like how many transactions we have completed in a day or two or weekly, monthly, right? And within that, how many pass, how many fail, right? So those statistics we will not get from the Excel. Or if you want to get it, we have to do a lot of rework and all other things, right? Then third thing, uh, if you want to see from the dashboard point of view, right? Dashboard point of view, like uh, live statistics basically, right? Whatever the bot are running into the production. So those also will not able to do with the help of our Excel, right? And third one or maybe fourth one, which is very important concept called as a multi-bot architecture. Okay, multi-bot it is called as a multi-bot. Okay, multi-bot architecture. So what is the multi-bot architecture, right? Suppose like you have created a bot. Okay, so we have this bot, right? And the bot is processing 1,000 records. Okay, or maybe okay, for example, 1,000 records, right? And it is taking 1 minute per transaction. Okay, so how much time it will take? 1,000 minutes, right? But we have any kind of SLA, right? Or the client is saying like, I want to be completed this within a right within 500 minutes. Okay, so what we will do? We'll deploy more resources, right? Similar way the we do right in our normal day-to-day life projects, right? Whenever we are having any uh, work, right, which is to be completed within a 30 hours or 40 hours, right? But if it's urgency and it has to complete it within less amount of time, we'll deploy the more resources, right? So what we will do in that case, we will deploy two bots, bot A and bot B. Okay, bot A and bot B. So what will happen? The work will get divided between these two bots. So maybe bot A can process 500 records and bot B can process the 500 records. Okay, and both the bots will point to the same queue. Okay, then you will ask, is there any chance duplicate records will get processed? How the synchronization is happening, right? So we'll see during the live, right? We're not able to create a multi-bot, but we'll see how the bot is fetching the data, what are the status they are maintaining so that there will be no confusion, right? So we'll see all the things, right? So that's the reason when we'll go for the like organization level, right? We'll not use the Excel directly. We'll upload this data into the queue, okay, and from there we'll fetch and we'll send it to the application, right? So these are the reasons, right, why we have to use the queue. Okay, so now we will go ahead, we'll use the queue, and then maybe whatever the questions and all, right, you people can ask. Okay, so we'll go, we'll create a new process, right, and we'll take the example of UiPath. We'll take the example of UiPath. So let's go and create. Okay, before that we have to create a queue, right? So we can go here, for example, this is for UI demo, right? I will delete, give this name, delete. I have deleted. I will create a new queue. Go to the add queue, create a new queue, right? Just to give the name of the queue. We'll talk about this auto retry and all, right? Just click on the add, give the name and click on the add. Okay, so your queue will get added. Okay, this is a separate queue for the UI demo. Then if you go to the more actions, view transactions, right? You can see it is saying no data to display. It means there is no data available currently. Okay, there is no data. So what we can do here, we can create a new process. We'll mention UI demo queue. Okay, create. So first thing, we'll upload the data into the queue. Once we upload the data into the queue, right, we'll do our initialization, processing, and end. Okay, in a very similar. Okay, there is a minute difference, and before that, we'll place this data into the respective project folder. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, open it. Okay. We'll go to the project. We'll place both the input file. Right. So we'll start with the flow chart as usual. Okay. So first will be upload the data into the queue. Right. I will take a sequence. Okay. We'll give the name as a load queue data. Queue data. Okay. Now we have to read the data from the Excel. Well, so this is Excel one. We'll go input. Okay. Now what is the next thing? We have read this data, right? We have to upload the data one by one. Okay, we have to upload this data one by one. Where we have to upload this data one by one? To the queue, right? So if you want to upload one by one, so obviously we have to use a for each rule, right? For each row in data. Okay, here we'll give the input data, right, and current. So now the next thing we have to add the data into the queue. So how to add the data into the queue? By using add queue atom. Okay, add queue atom, right? So from here, similar way like assets, right? We have to select the folder. I have selected the folder. We have to select the queue name. I have selected the queue. Then it will have collection, right? So what is this collection? Opening. So collection, if you click on the collection, we can see, right? There is key, type and value. Okay. So what is the key? So when this data will get uploaded into the orchestrator, right? This value we have to store separately. This value we have to store separately. This value we have to store separately. But we have to give some reference or label, right? So that label we can give here. So the best way we can give the same name. Okay, we can give any other name as well, but again, we'll not able to understand it, right? Or we have to create some separate mapping sheet, right? What is the name of this field and what is the reference into the Excel, right? Keep string, right? And value from where this value will come. So this value will come from Excel, right? Cache dot toast. Okay. Then we add another. What is the next entry? This is for honest, right? So go back and give this row, open close bracket, double quote, honest check dot tools. Then third one, not on, not honest check, row, open close bracket, double quotes, not honest check dot tools, right? So here we have given this name of the field, right? And from where this value is coming, right? Then, so this portion will upload the data into the queue, right? So what I will show you how it can be done. Okay, so it is done. Let's now you can see there is no data available. Okay, completed and refreshed, right? Can you see this status, right? What is the status? New, right? And as soon as I click on the new, can you see this value? Cash in, honest check, not honest check, right? So every row, okay, every row it will be considered as a one transaction, okay, and it will get added here. And this reference we have given key, right? So whatever the key we have provided, here is that, right? So in this way, what we can do, we can upload the data into the queue, okay? So now I have uploaded data into the queue, okay, clear? The next thing, what is the next thing? We have to log into that, right? So I will take the news. Okay, here we can mention log. Okay, so we are aware, right? So use application browser. So we'll use which application? This, right? And then we have to provide that username. We have to provide the password. So here we have to provide. Right. Now yesterday we have seen how can we take the assets from the orchestrator, right? So we can take it from the orchestrator as then log confirm, right? Now what all the steps are left? So we have to, okay, so that set the property. Okay. Close. Okay. Now what is the next thing we have to do basically? We have to fetch the data from the queue. Okay. We have to fetch the data from the queue and then we have to send it to the application. Right. So how to fetch the data from the queue? Right. So I will create another sequence. Right. I will mention get queue data. Okay. Get a queue data. Right. So here we have to use get transaction atom. Okay. Get transaction. So what this activity will do? It will fetch the transaction atom, right? So it will not fetch all the records at a time. It will fetch one record. Okay. So we have to give folder. This is my folder. This is the queue name. Okay. And then variable in which it will store the data. Okay. So I will give UI demo data for example, right? And we have to increase the scope because we have to send the data outside this sequence also. I will select as a flowchart and its variable type is a queue atom. Okay, its variable type is a queue atom. So you will not able to see this variable type maybe in other languages, right? So this is queue atom. Why queue atom? As I said, each transaction will be considered as a one queue. Okay, it will store here. Now what is the next thing? We have to send this data, right? Where we have to send this data? We have to send it to the application, right? Okay. So I will use another. Right? This maybe we can say the process. Okay. So what we have to do here? Maybe I can use a recorder, right? So we can do little bit fast. So go here. You have to type and just and type and, and, and just click on the accept. Okay. We have clicked on the accept. That's it, right? Click save and return to start. Okay. Now we have to enter those values here. Which value? Right? Which are coming from the queue, right? And in which variable we have stored? We have stored in this variable, right? But this variable having all the three values. Which all the three values, right? It having cache in, honest check, not honest check. It having all the three values. Okay. So how can we give the specific value here, right? So we can mention variable dot specific content. Okay, specific content. Open close bracket, double quotes, cache dot toast. Okay. Now the second thing, here we have to enter honest check dot specific content. Okay. Open close bracket, double quotes, right? We have to mention not on. Okay. UI demo data dot specific content. All right. Open close bracket, double quotes, not. Thank you. Okay. Now we'll go back. Okay, done. Hmm. Now we'll go back. Okay, and here also we have to mention that close never open. Okay. Now suppose we will run this. But if you see here, like I have already uploaded the data. Data is already available. So I will disable. Okay, disable this. Now I will just run and let me close this as well. Okay, I think this is due to verification. Let's see. Okay, so it's trying to enter again. So let me stop it. Okay, go back to the login. Okay, so this is due to this. Okay, so we'll remove it. Now we can run. Okay, so you can see it is fetching the data from the queue and it is entering. And it stopped. It did not taken all the records, right? Why it did not taken all the records? Because we did not added the provision for the loop or something, right? So how can we add the provision for loop, right? We can connect this processing to this queue data. Okay, queue get queue data. So what will happen once it is done, right? Of this first transaction, it will go and it will try to fetch another transaction, right? Now we'll go here. Just refresh. Okay, where is the this? So can you see what is the status? In progress. Okay. So when it picks up any transaction atom, right, it will mark the status as a in progress. Initially, it will be new, then it will mark it as a in progress. Okay. So I will close this and will run it again. So it will process remaining three transactions. Okay. So I will run. Okay. So you can see now it is taking all the transactions. Okay. It completed. Now we are getting it. Okay. So if you go here and if you refresh, right? Can you see in progress? Okay. Now I will close. Okay. So what error we are getting? We are getting the error. Object reference is not set to the instance of object. Okay. Why we are getting this error? Because let me stop this. Okay. Why we are getting this? Uh, why we are getting this error? Because when the processing is done, again it will go to fetch the data from here, right? And what this get queue atom will do? It will fetch only transaction having the status as a new. Okay, it will fetch only transaction data having the status as a new. It will not fetch any other status data. Okay, so what happened when it is done the last transaction? It went here, it tried to fetch, but it was not having any data, so there is a blank. right? That's the reason here we are getting error. Object reference is not set to the instance, means it is not getting the input or val, correct? So now we have to handle this scenario. So how to handle this scenario? I will just take this here. Okay, I will use a flow decision. Okay, flow decision. We have seen it, right? Flow decision. And here I will give the condition, right, to the flow decision. UI demo data is nothing. Okay, is nothing. Means there is no data into the UI demo. Then what should happen? Right? Then it should log a message. Log message. Okay, for example, here I will add it. Okay, if the condition is true, right? It will add the log message like no data available for processing. Available for processing, right? And here we'll add it as an info layer. Okay, as an information, right? And at the same time, we will uh, click on this exit button. Okay, we will click on this exit. Okay, this we have to take to the sequence. We can take as it is, but it's okay. Then use the key. Go ahead, select the exit. Okay. Now suppose if I will run this, right? What will happen now? It will not go to the this. Okay. So this that are connected here. So what is our condition? UI demo data is nothing. Means if there is no data, right? If the condition is true, it will go to the true. If the condition is false, means if you have data, it will go to the processing, right? Now it will not go to the processing. Okay. Why? Because we don't have any data, correct? So let me run. So why have I have used this flow decision to add or to handle this particular scenario if there is no data available into it. Okay, so it is running. Okay, start. Okay, it got closed. It did not went there, right? So in this way, if there is no to data, we are able to handle. One more. What is the status in progress, right? But from there, we are not getting anything. It is success, it is fail, right? So we have to set the queue status as well according to the our processing, right? So it means if everything goes well, we can mention it's a success. If any failure is there for particular transaction, we'll mention it as a failure also. Okay. So how to do this? We have to use this activity set transaction status. Okay. So we have to again select folder. Okay. We have to select the transaction atom, right? So I will give UI demo data. And can you see here it having success? Similarly, it having failure also. Okay. But I will mention as a success, right? Because this scenario we are thinking about happy path scenario. We'll see negative scenario as well. Now what I will do, I will enable. Okay. And let me run. Now what it will do, it will upload the data into the queue. The status will be new, right? When it will be picked up by the gate transaction item, it will change to the in progress. Okay. And based on the processing, it will change the status as a successful also, right? So that's the reason I have shown you step by step. Okay. Because if you run this flow in a one go, will not able to see new status, will not able to see in progress status, right? So it will directly show the success status. Okay. Completed. Now we can go ahead and we can just refresh this. See the status of report. Okay, also it will show the processing time also, like when it started, when it's ended, which robot on which robot it has performed the action, right? So all these statistics basically, right, will not able to get from the text, okay, along with whatever we have discussed. So, right, and here we was talking about multi-bot architecture, right? So suppose currently we are having four transactions, right? So in that case, what will happen? Will trigger the bot A, right? So suppose the bot A is picking the first transaction, right? So it will mark the status as a in progress. So obviously the bot B will not be able to pick up that transaction. It will pick up second transaction or maybe next transaction, right? So when the bot is done with that processing, right? And bot B is processing maybe second transaction, right? So bot A will go and it will pick up the next transaction, which is having the news. Okay, so this synchronization will be happen on the orchestrator level. We no need to worry about it, and there is no chances like duplicate records will get processed. Okay, so that's the reason if you want to go with the multi-bot architecture, Excel will not work at all, right? We have to use Duo. Clear? So now any question, doubt, are all good?
I have one question. So the queue structure we define in the program, not in Orchestrator when we kind of creating a queue.
I did not get your question.
So in this, let's say we have three columns in a queue, right? Like the data which is coming, it has three columns. So the
Mhm.
structure of a queue, like how many columns and everything, that we define in the program, not in the queue actually.
So how we can define it, right? We'll
We
not able
can't
to
define.
with the queue. We'll just create a queue and what data we have to send, how much data we want, right? That we will do it from our automation. Okay. Now here we have sent each and every data one by one, but we have another activity where we can send all the data one in one go, and based on the column, it will create a structure also. Means it will create cache in honest check, not honest check. Based on the this column name, it will create a label also. We'll see that activity as well.
And the status is just like four status, like new, in progress, success, and fail.
No, we have other statuses. Okay. Now you can see uh, what is the status in progress, right? So what will happen, right, after 24 hours? So till how much time it will be in progress, right? So after 24 hours, the status will change to the abandoned. So right, maybe we can see in the next session, or you people can also see tomorrow. So after the 24 hours, it will be abandoned, right? Next thing, if you select this, right, and if I click on the remove, for example, right, so status will be deleted. Okay, so these are the various status are available.
And that get transaction activity, it always work on the line item which is there in the new status.
Yes, this.
You just gave the path and the queue name that we created. So whatever the items in that queue which are in new status, that will be picked up.
Yes, correct, correct.
And it will always be in a, like one transaction or
Yes,
one transaction at a time.
yes. So for example, in for each row, right, we can say row. So it will take only one row at a time. right? Similarly, it will take one. Okay. And if you see here into the queue, right? Here we are having filters, and you can see, right? These are the status basically, correct? So if you want to fetch any report, or if you want to see, right, very well we can do it from here, right? Similar way, if we have like robot on specific robot, right? So I'm having these two robots, right? Exception, and if you want to click on the export, right? What it will do, it will give the report to the Excel as well. Okay.
And we can't define any custom status. So these status are
No,
like
it,
the predefined status which is there in
it
UiPath.
will it will fulfill our all the purpose, so there is no need to define any other. Okay. Any other question from any? This is very important concept, right? And why I explain this, because now we are heading to the framework level, RE frame, right? So maybe from Monday.
Like not going into the detail, just a block level, what we have done.
So this, right? So here you can see the
Uh,
description here itself. Load queue data, right? What we are doing
data.
first, we are loading the data into the. How to load the data? We can read the data from the Excel, right? And we have to load each and every row one by one as a transaction, right? So we are using for each row data table. Then we are using add queue atom, right? Add queue atom, what it will do? It will load the data into the queue, right? So we have to give folder path, queue name. Then here we have to define the item information, right? What all the things we have to upload. So we have to upload this thing, from where this thing will come. That also we have to define here, right? After that, we are login, right? So we'll launch application, provide username, password, click on the login, right? Then get queue data, because before sending to the application, we have to take the data from the queue, right? So by using the get queue, right, we'll queue folder path, queue name, and we'll give the variable in which it will get stored, right? And after that, we are using this condition like UI demo data is nothing. Why? Because if there is no data, it will throw the error, right? So to avoid it, right? So if it's true, we'll log the message and we'll click on the exit. But if it's false, means it having the data, right? So what we will do, we'll type those values into the caching, honest check, not honest check, right? And click on the accept, right? And after that, we have to set the queue status, right? So suppose we have to set the queue status. So we can use this set transaction atom. Like we'll give orchestrator folder path, queue name, we'll give the status, right? But whatever the flow we have created, how it will work on all the records or repetitive, right? So that's the reason what we did. We have connected this processing to the get queue data. Means once it is done, right, all the tasks, it will go and it will try to fetch the data from the queue. Next available data we can. Okay. Yeah. But still, if you want me to navigate from one place to another, let. Okay, right? So in this way, we can see we are able to fetch the data from the queue, right? How to send the data to the queue, how to change the queue status, right? We have seen all the things, right? So what you people can do, the training order system, right? We have another application called as a training order system that you can take it as an assignment. And before coming to the Monday class, right? So try to complete it. Okay, so where we'll see exception handling part as well. Okay, and at the same time we'll see if there are any error, any problems, right? We'll see those things. Okay, clear? All right. Okay, so now we will move on. Okay, now we will see. Okay, so no questions, right? You people are good. Whatever we talk about. multi-bot architecture also, right? How it is changing status. So we are clear, right? Okay. Now we will talk about how to create a reusable company. Okay. So anyone has any idea? I mean, it name only suggests, right? But just want to check, like, what is a reusable component and what is the purpose of anyone?
So basically, Weber, we create a component, for example, let's say login screen,
Huh.
login, putting username, password, and clicking on login.
Hmm.
And we can reuse that. Once we make that component, we store in our object repository, and we can reuse whenever we have to log in a particular application.
Hmm.
So sometimes in the same application, we have to log in multiple times. So or if there is a change in application, we have to change the code. So if we have a login screen component stored somewhere, we can simply use that component. So, and similarly, we can store the components and reuse rather than writing it again and again.
Correct. Correct. Right. So, rightly said by Gautam. So, what is the purpose of reusable component? Means we have to reuse it. Okay. So, whenever we require, we will reuse it. Right. So, what is the advantage? The advantage is like it will save the time. Right. It will save the time. Right. On that particular steps, on that particular automation. Right. So, as said by the Gautam. Right. Suppose this is my application. Okay. So this is one of the example. Reusable component can be anything. Okay. Suppose here, like our login is a reusable component. Okay. So if you go inside, right, the process we did, right, deposit process. Suppose we are having withdraw process, split deposit process, right, or it might be anything, correct? And if you want to automate it, right, these are the separate process. But what is the common thing? Common thing is a login, right? So in that case, what we can do, we can create a reusable component for the login. Okay, and we can use it whenever we require it. Okay, we can call that component or we can reuse it, right? So this is also very important concept. So now we'll see how to do this. Okay, so if you want to create any reusable component, right, we have to go from this library. Okay, what it is saying, see, create reusable component, right? So if you want to create a reusable component, we have to go through this library. Okay, so click on the library, right? I will mention UI demo login component. Okay, I'm not sure about spelling, right? So click on the create. Okay, I just clicked on the create. So whatever process is getting created, similar way, this library will also get created. Okay, so let it create. It is now created. Okay, now we are here. Go to the project. If you go to the project, can you see the name? New active, right? Just double click. Okay, as soon as we double click, okay, it will open here, right? It will open. So now what is our first thing? Maybe we'll add as a, doesn't matter, we are adding a flow chart or we are adding a sequence, right? So based on how big your reusable component, right, that we have to decide, right? So I will use a sequence. Okay, and within this sequence, I will create a login flow. So we can create with the recorder, right? So go ahead. Okay, right, it has taken use application. After that we have type, right? Okay, okay, save, save and return to the studio, right? So all those things we have to make it proper. Huh? So we'll go here, close, will mention never, open will mention always. Okay, this first thing. Second, now we are creating this reusable company. Okay, So if you go here, this username or this password, right? It can come from the that main flow wherever we are calling, right? So if you will, as per best practice, we should not give here hard-coded username and password, right? So tomorrow if got change, right, there will be a problem, right? So now here we have to send or we have to reuse this component to the another flow. So that flow will send that username and password to this flow, right? So we'll not able to do it with the help of variable. So we'll use a okay, we'll use a argument. So go here in username, okay, in user. So we'll give this in user, right? Similar thing with password as well, right? So you can see here, right? If I'm going to type in password, okay, and if I'm going to type here, it won't allow. So what we did previously, we went here and we have passed that password, right? But it is throwing error. Why it is throwing error? Because it will not take the string, it will take secure string, right? So we have to change this argument. Right? So how to change it, right? Browse for the type, secure string. Can you see this secure string here? So we can go ahead and we can change it to the secure string. Now that uh, error has gone. Okay, clear? And for this, we can give a proper login, sorry, proper name. Right? So mention UID login. Okay, clear so far? Any doubt, any question? Okay. Now we have to publish. Okay. So for example, I will show you one way. Okay, I just clicked on the publish. Right. So it will take all these blah blah things. Then click on the next. Okay. So if you go here, right, here we can select custom or we can send to the orchestrator also. Okay. I will select custom. Okay. Fine. And what I will do, I will save on the my system, for example. Okay. So where we can save, we'll save it on the drive. Right. Here I will mention reusable. Time being, just time. Reusable. Okay. Select, select this. Okay. And then click on the publish. So what will happen? Right. This reusable package will get created here. Okay. So now it is published. Okay. Now where my package is created. Let it check all the things. Okay. Now we have created it. But at the same time, we should test also it is working or not. Because if it is not working here, it will not work there also. Right? So I will just check. Ideally, we should check before, right? But this is just small one. So obviously it will work, but just want to verify once. So that if something is required, you can change it. Okay? It's working. Only thing it is not entering the data because it don't have the data. Right? So if you want to test that, we can provide some default value. That also we can do. Right? But that's fine. This is just small things. Obviously, it will work. There is no question. Okay. Right. So our reusable component is ready. Right. So suppose now I want to use it in any other process. Okay. So what I will do, I will go ahead and I will create a UI demo process separately. Okay. Right. And where I want to call this component. Okay. So let it open. Right now, I will create, for example, UI demo. Uh, what is this? Transaction. Right? Okay, so I have created this. Now, when we are using this process, when we are doing this process, for example, what is the first thing we have to log, right? So it is not the thing like we can only add the reusable component at the beginning of the flow or at the end of the flow. We can call it anything. This is first. Right? Now I have created. Okay. And now what I want for the login, I want to call this flow, and after that I will do my rest of the things. Right. So we have to go to the manage. So what is the manage package basically? Right. What are the activities you can see on the left hand side activities, right? So those activities are bundled, okay, into the packages, right? So we have used email activities, right? So the email activities are bundled in this package, okay? If you go to the project dependency, it will show you the default package, okay? Default means whenever uh, like this project or process will get created, these packages will be available by default. Okay. Few packages are available by default, few packages will not be available by default. We have to add it by our own. Okay. So we can see here all these packages are available. But now what I want to do, I want to use some reusable package, okay, which we have created, right? So where we can see those packages, we can go to the local. Okay. If you go to the local, right, we'll be able to see those packages. Okay. So how to see those packages, right? We'll check now how can we do that. Okay. So just let me do that. Okay. Where is the path? So it having its own path. Okay. Let me check one thing. I want to check one thing. What I want to check, if you go to the settings, right, you can see your all the packages are available in this location. Okay. All the packages are available. Now we have to fetch that package. Okay, so if you want to fetch that package, just a second, just a second. Okay, so all the packages are available in this location, right? So now what we have to do, we have to go to that location. Okay, so I will go to that location, right? Now can you see my all the packages are available in this location? Okay, everyone will have available the same path. Okay, so now what I want to do, right? My package, whatever the package I have created, right, I have to add into that location. Okay, so where is our package we have saved, right? We have, sorry, we have saved here, reuse, right? What is the name? UI demo login. Just copy it. Okay, just copy this, go here and paste it. I have pasted, right? After that, I will go back here, right? Local, right? If you go to the local, right, just type. Can you see this UI demo login component? Right, it will show you all the details, basically. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to click on the install. I just click on the install, click on the save. Okay. I just click on the save. So what it will do, it will add that reusable package, right, into our project. Then what we discussed previously, there are some default packages are available here, and the activities are bundled within that package, right? So whatever the activities we have bundled in this package will be available there. Okay. So go to that, right? And just type UI demo. Can you see? Right? UI demo login component. So we can just fetch here. Okay. Once we fetch this here, you can see it in terms of activity. Okay. In terms of activity. Here it is asking provide me the username, provide me the password. Right? So we have to provide username and password. So how can we get it? We can get it from get credential. Okay. So we can get it from here. Right? So this is my folder. This is my asset name, right? UI name. Okay. And what I will do, I will go here, create username, okay, and okay, pass. Okay. So here we can provide the username. Here we can provide the password, right? And I will close and let me run, right? No, it's not clicking on login. But can you see, right? In this way, right, we are able to create our reusable. Okay. So suppose, right, it is not working here. I don't know how it is, why it's not working. Okay, I got the point, right? So suppose, right, what happened? We have created a reusable component, right? And tomorrow there we are doing some modification. Okay. So here you can see our reusable component facing the problem, right? Or there are some enhancements, right? So we'll update into the reusable component. I think it is because of this, right? Remove it because we are entering that secure string, right? So save it. Now we did some changes to this package, right? Now it should get updated into the our process also, right? So just imagine you have created a process which is running since 6 months. Okay, we are using that reusable component, but now we got to change into that reusable component, right? Anything, and because of the change, it will not work into that process. Then what is the next step? So very simple, publish this. Okay, I publish this. I can add a release note like I have fixed the it is not entering into the password or whatever the modification, right? And its version is this one. Go here, right? So this is my location and all. I will publish it. Okay. Once we publish it, right? I'm not sure it has taken that correct path or not. We'll see. Okay. Yes, it has taken that path only. So I will go to that one. Now can you see my reusable package? Copy this. Okay. And go to this location and paste it. I have pasted it, right? Now go back to your flow where you are using it, right? I can go here, go to the manage package, right? Go to the local, right? Here, if you go here, right, UI demo component, can you see, right? It is showing this 1.0.2, for example, right? So I think it has by default added or not. Yeah, I think it has added by default. Okay. So it has taken that updated package by default, right? So let's run and see it is working out. Okay, let me see this is our reusable or not. No, no, this is our reusable component. So we have to go to flow. We have to go to this. Right. No, I think it's not taking. So I will stop it. Right. We'll go to the local. Right. This is my now can you see? Right. Now it is showing correctly. I think it is because of refresh. It is showing currently I'm having 1.4.1. Okay. and the updated package is available. So it will show you this upward arrow in green color. So I can mention update and save. Okay. So in this way, we can change or modify any version, activity version also, or the package version from the management. Okay. So now I have updated, right? Okay. Now run. Let's see it will take the effect or not, or do we have to add it again? Okay. Okay. It is working perfect, right? So in this way, we can use any of the reusable component. Then you will ask, for example, if I want to give my colleague, right? So it's very simple. We can provide this file to them. They can add into that location and it will work. Even when we'll publish it, we can publish into the orchestrator also. Okay. So I can show you. If you publish, right? If you go here into the tenant, right? If you go to the tenant and if you go to these packages, right? Can you see these packages? So what are the packages we have published, right? Those are available here. Okay. So you can see those are the packages. And if you go here, right? Explore packages, or if you go here, view versions, right? It will show you all the versions. Okay, here I have only one, so that's the reason it's showing for this version. If you have multiple version, it will show the multiple version as well. Okay, see, right? So in case if you want to upgrade, downgrade, right? Very well we can do this. Okay. So now suppose I am having this package here. I can just click on the down. I just click on the down. Okay. So you can see that package has downloaded. Okay. Right. That package has downloaded. Right. So either we can download from there, right? Or we can give it from here. At the end, it's the same. Okay, clear? So any question, doubt? No question? Okay, fine. So just try or in between if you have any question, please.